A faithful accepts the traitor's seduction, but in a surprising twist, it's the faithful who end up celebrating the most. With Brooke accepting the seduction, the traitors are back up to their full complement of numbers. This shift promises new strategies and more deception, setting the stage for an unpredictable turn of events. Breakfast comes with its usual suspicions and theories, but sometimes there's something obvious staring you right in the face that provides more answers. In this case, that was the amount of chairs at the breakfast table. The chair count is always the quickest way to conclude whether anyone has been murdered, and it was quickly worked out there must have been a seduction, as the amount of chairs left was the same number of players remaining after Mike's banishment. Brody has set her sights on Matt. Interestingly, Brody told Dan about her suspicions at breakfast after Matt walked in. Later, Brody shared her thoughts with Anna, Brooke, and Philly. Brooke, now a traitor, faced his first challenge as a traitor. I thought he handled the conversation well with trying to carefully steer away from Matt, but to not be too suspicious about it. To me, it seems that even if Brody wasn't going to vote for Matt instantly, as long as she was still in the game, Matt's days would be numbered. This episode featured the season's first mission with the shield in play. The way the team were divided, there ended up being 2 traitors within one of those teams. To win would be of great benefit to restrict the number of faithfuls they couldn't target. Justine wanted to observe more than just the items in the room. She suspected the possibility of a hidden traitor mission within the main mission, a suspicion rooted in the first episode's events. Justine's keen awareness makes her a significant threat to the traitors. You would think the team that included Julia, the former police officer, would be the best at spotting changes, but that wasn't the case. Sam, despite being legally blind, excelled in his team by spotting 2 correct answers, the only answers correct for his whole team. His performance was truly impressive. The winning team consisted of Brooke, Dan, Philly, and Robbie. Despite Robbie's minimal contribution, the team succeeded. With 2 traitors in the winning team, it means there's more of the faithfuls available to be the next victim. Robbie found the shield, but I don't think she would have been a candidate for murder. Even though initial suspicion has died a bit against Robbie, I don't think that will continue to stay dormant. Robbie would be someone the traitors can try to get banished. Brooke strategically took what happened in the mission and tried to use it to his advantage in conversations with others. Philly weighed into the conversation with what he says Robbie told him earlier that day, something that was brought up later at the round table.
When we finished the challenge, she said there's a traitor in our group. She said, she kept coming up to me and she goes, remember, we formed the pack. You said there was a traitor in our team.
I didn't say anything.
But the fact that you said you didn't say it at all really bothers me.
Matt's strategy of not being fully aware of the game was increasingly working against him. It raised too much suspicion and he didn't pivot away from it quick enough. The faithfuls kept saying how it would be such a brilliant move if Matt was a traitor, and some seemed to be increasingly convinced as time went on. The round table edit was too short. I feel like we barely got stuck into the discussion. I don't think we got to hear enough people's cases for suspicion or the accused's defense against it. What was clear was that Julia, Matt, and Robbie were the ones in danger. I'm surprised Dylan's name didn't come up again. The question mark of Lauren voting for him before her banishment still remains. I was curious as to why Dylan going for Mike and using his reaction at the round table as evidence against Mike didn't come up for more scrutiny. It was quite a big hit, which consequently ended up being a big miss. Despite the various faithfuls being voted for, there were enough votes for Matt to become the second traitor banished within 3 round tables. A triumphant table basked in delight at their latest achievement. A very intuitive bunch of players these faithfuls are proving to be. Let's see if the traitors can survive the next episode. Let me know in the comments what you think. As the once again depleted traitors gathered, Brooke advised Dan to change his game plan to avoid becoming the next target. Brooke's experience as a former faithful brings him a different insight on the game than Dan has. Knowing how quickly Brooke determined Dan was a traitor, he can see where Dan is going wrong and what would lead others to also come to that conclusion. While Dan was trying to be more subtle in his approach, Brooke sees that if Dan isn't actively seen to be trying to hunt traitors, Dan's time in the game might be limited. Brody, Colin, and Kings were the candidates for murder. With how the game is going, if I was them, I would get rid of Brody. I think she could be a big influence in banishing another traitor. Getting rid of Kings would be more of a confusion move. He isn't voting with the masses, but if the traitors want to use Julia as a banishment target, then keeping Kings would almost guarantee a vote for her. Colin is just doing his own thing, and others have mentioned they can't read him. I could easily see him being banished, so that might be a reason to keep him around. There's another video about the traitors, so click for more.